Minister Jamil, give us some background on the Nation of Islam. Is the Nation of Islam a religion? Give us some background.
Well, the Nation of Islam is a movement in North America, and is the common name Nation of Islam is known and identified with a movement in North America among black people that was begun in 1930 in the city of Detroit by the auspicious and historic meeting of Master Farad Muhammad, who we mentioned earlier, and his chief primary principal and supreme pupil or student, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. They met in Detroit, and that meeting produced the organization, the structure, and the ongoing work of this Nation of Islam, which has provided so much great inspiration in the form of women and men in black America who have accepted the tenets of Islam as our faith, but have never rejected the groundswell and where we grew up from in our various churches. But now we're moving to make relevant change in black America. The Nation of Islam was led for many years by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, known to many, and how some of you have a picture of the messenger on your wall in your home right now. And you can look up and see that beautiful man with that starry fez crown on his head. He is the leader of the Nation of Islam. And Minister Louis Farrakhan has come to the fore since 1975 as the primary proponent and teacher and leader and guide of our people and the people around the world into an understanding of what our nation actually is.
What do you want to, as a leader in the Nation of Islam, what do you want to see black people do? What's your goal for black people?
That's a very good question, and it calls for a succinct answer, it calls for a concise answer, and I'll do my best to give it. But what we are looking for people to do is to rise up and unite as one to claim the birthright, the legacy that God has for us, which is freedom, justice, and equality, which is knowledge and wisdom and understanding, love and peace and joy, and even money, good homes and friendships in all walks of life. These are the things that we should look forward to because we have been systematically deprived of these things while living in a racist, white supremacist America. And whether we like it or not, Dayton, Southwest Ohio, Cincinnati, Middletown, all of these areas around here have been traditional hotspots of this kind of racist behavior on behalf of our oppressors. We're not crying the blues, we're not pointing the finger, we're not absolving individuals in the black community for responsibility for their personal actions and behaviors, but we are saying that we understand why we're in this condition. And the only way for us to get out of it is to unite and let everybody bring the best of what they bring to the occasion and to the table, and let's go ahead and get up.
When you say unite, I see that as a picture of coming together, but some say that the nation wants to separate.
Well, certainly there is a measure of separation necessary for people to come together. It's an odd paradox, but that's the truth. You cannot come together as a member of your organization unless you first separate from people who do not share your ideals, in order that you may perfect those ideals and contribute what you contribute to those people, even those from whom you were initially separated. There are people under the sound of our voice right now who are members of organizations in the black community. Some people are members of Alpha Phi Alpha. Then there's somebody else who's a member of Omega Psi Phi. Now, they were separated for a time, but now they can unite under the auspices of the Panhellenic Council, and they can contribute to the community. At first, during the pledge period, Alpha Kappa Alphas don't really hang out with Delta Sigma Thetas. But after a while, they can get together and contribute to a community who needs them both united to improve the quality of life in the community as a whole. So separation, no, we don't preach separation from our own people. We preach unity, and the diversity that we bring to the table makes our unity even stronger.
So if I'm getting you, I think that one of the things that should start with is the religious organizations should see each other as, it's not about which God you follow. We all follow, well, people all follow one supreme being. But it's basically about we all are on the same course for African Americans. It's not because you are Methodist or Baptist or whatever, we're all on the same course for our people.
You know, it's funny, Francis, that you would put it that way. One mother taught her child that 3 and 4 is 7 before school, you know. Children going to school in kindergarten, they want to show off that they already have a little knowledge, you know. Mother taught a child 3 and 4 is 7. Another mother across town taught her child that 5 plus 2 equals 7. Around the corner, another mother said 6 and 1, and over across the tracks they tried to get even fancier, and they said the square root of 49 is 7. Now all these children come to the schoolyard on the first day of school to show off their new knowledge. They come there, and each one pronounces boldly what my mama taught me. My mama taught me that 3 plus 4 equals 7. The other child said, your mama don't know what she's talking about. 5 plus 2 is 7. Another child chimes in, both of y'all mothers is ignorant, because 6 plus 1 is 7. And then for somebody says, no, square root of 49 is 7. By the time they get finished arguing about what they're arguing about, they have not come to the knowledge that each of them is saying essentially and according to value the same thing. But they're expressing it in different terms. We have to be more intelligent than those kindergartners. If your church says that 5 plus 2 equals 7, and your church says that 3 plus 4 equals 7, and Sherman and Sasha, you know they want to be fancy. They teach their children the square root of 49 is 7. But then the same thing is true. We've got to come together as a community understanding that the values are in common, even though the expressions and the terms are different. Let's not get hung up on terms at the Baptist church and the Methodist church and the Muslim mosque. No, we've got to understand that we must unite. And when you're in the ring with Satan, you can't jump in there with just one punch. You jump in a ring today with just one punch, you're going to get knocked out. Satan will knock you out too. But you got to be able to shoot that Muslim jab and then hit him with that Baptist hook. Come in with that AME straight right. See, and knock Satan out, because Satan is in the ring to win. He wants to knock us out of housing and jobs, and knock us out of freedom and justice, and knock us out of healthy marriages and strong families. He wants to knock us out of employment security. He wants to knock us out of the unity that causes us to raise healthy, well-adjusted children. These are the things that we need to unite about, and we cannot get it taking my little group over here and your little group over there and another little group over there, and never the twain shall meet. That's how the Satan conquers us. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer.
Minister Jamil, I want to say one word and get your response to it. Empowerment.
Empowerment. Very good word. And the response, I'll try. I really am working, trying to be succinct. I'm trying to be concise. It's not working so well, but let me just say this. Empowerment means to be whatever God created you to be. When you are enabled in what God created you to be, you can be said to have power in your own creation. The power of a daffodil or a lily is different than the power of a tiger or a lion. But each of those creations, by acting in accord with what God designed them to do, exercises the fullness of their power. The black man and woman in America contains the seed of the greatest people ever to walk the earth. We have to be what God created us to be. We've seen little glimpses of it whenever we're allowed to excel or to shine. We're here now on the beginning of Black History Month. And at the beginning of Black History Month, we can begin to reflect and think about the contributions that blacks have made in America, even though we were put in the place of slaves. Every time they opened the door, Mr. Acton, every time they opened the door, we burst through the door and excelled. First they told us we couldn't play tennis, and when we got in, we brought Althea Gibson. They told us that we couldn't play the classical piano, so when we got in, we brought Andre Watts. We brought Awadigan Pratt. They told us that we couldn't get into politics. We brought the smoothness of Senator Ed Brooke and the brash boldness of Adam Clayton Powell. They told us that we couldn't get into the study of the Bible and theology. And then when we came into the pulpit, we produced Dr. Martin Luther King and Dr. Gardner Taylor. And we produced those great giants of the pulpit called black preachers. Every time they let us in, we excelled. And empowerment involves us getting in touch with that creative spirit, that spark, and excelling anyway. Succeeding in spite of, and making it, don't care what you say.